All right, this video is to help walk through kids, high school kids primarily, but also middle schoolers who are looking for information not related to method books through how to use SmartMusic to help them practice and kind of mix things up a little bit. So again, if you are a middle schooler trying to practice out of a method book with this, I'm doing a separate video specifically for that. If you're looking to use it just for like sheet music or just in general any other music, this is the video for you. So once you've created your account, joined the class, and logged in, which is all detailed in an email I sent out, so if you have not yet done that, then this video will help you not at all until you do that. But once you do that stuff and you log in, you will be taken to a page that looks like this. It's your home page. So there's not going to be anything here. This is where stuff will appear if I post stuff from the teacher side. Right now I'm logged into like a fake student account that I made. So you won't see anything unless I put something here. I'm not really too sure if I even will put something here. Stay tuned. But if I do, this is where it'll show up. In the meantime, though, I'm going to talk about how you can look up some music and stuff for this. So where it says find music over here, this is automatically going to be here. But if you're ever, like, if for some reason it collapses and you're like, oh no, where'd it go? This grid up in the top right corner, it'll look different depending on where you are on the website. But you can always go click Find Music, and it will take you to its own separate page for it if you'd like. You can also do it from that little panel that it just showed you. Okay, so we're in the Find Music section of the website. First and foremost, if there's a specific song you'd like to see if it's on here, you can just like search it right here if you know the name of it. Otherwise, if you're kind of just browsing or whatever, you can just search through things. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff going on. So you can look, I mean, like I said, this is a bunch of featured things. They've got a lot of genres you can look at if you have a, preference. I'm going to open one of them for, well, no, I'm not. I was going to open one for later. Apparently can't do that. But all the way at the bottom is where I'm going to draw your attention. So these categories are how you can kind of refine your search a little bit better if you'd like. Band and orchestra is where I'm going to be focusing this video, but there's also some choir stuff. Exercises is where you can find like scales, arpeggios, like rhythm exercises, exercises. Don't really worry about free selections. It's going to be a lot of the same stuff as you would find in the band and orchestra section because SmartMusic opened up a lot of their stuff to be free because of the school closures and stuff. So you're not really even going to need to worry about this while you're using SmartMusic. There's a section that will help you with jazz improv. Again, there's a section specifically for method books. If you'd like to practice sight reading, there's a section for that. Solo and small ensemble, they don't have quite as many options for free right now on those selections, but you're welcome to see if anything you're interested in is on there. But we're going to focus on band and orchestra today. So I'm going to click that button. It's going to load it up. And here we go. We've got like a ton of stuff. So first and foremost, if you wanted to practice one of the songs maybe we have for what we were going to do in a concert, you can search for them and see if they're in here. This is every song, so it's going to be, there's a lot, you know what I mean? So over 5,000 results. So don't be afraid to really filter it out over here on the left if you want to as well. But so we're not going to use one of our songs as an example because I think those are a little too complicated, but just as an example, if you guys are curious, Chorale and Shake Your Dance 2, which is what we were working on in class, is on here. So is the first one, so you guys can finally listen to it if you were, those of you who have been so curious about it. But so you can open it and practice along with it, record yourself playing with it, just listen to it, whatever. I'll talk you through the process of all of that, but I'm going to use a different song that'll be a little bit easier to understand right away versus this stuff because these are obviously relatively challenging. But I just wanted to show you guys that like there's a lot of music on here, music that we have done and music that we haven't done. So let's see, I'm gonna do for today, oh boy, what do I want to do? Something easy. Afterburn. Here we go. Cool. So I chose Afterburn. Once you click the name that you want, it'll open up this overview. You want to click movements. If there are multiple movements, you can pick from them. For songs that are just like one song, no movements, you'll just click the song and then you click open. When you click this, it'll pull down this little menu. So first of all, you chose your instrument when you created your account. If for some reason it's showing a different instrument or something is wrong, or maybe you have a couple instruments at home and you're wanting to practice something that isn't your primary instrument, you would click this arrow and it will let you, do the drop down box. I'm going to stick with clarinet for the example though. Can't really change the song. If it were multiple movements, you'd be able to select from the movements here. And then parts. So for this song, there's 2 clarinet parts. We'll do clarinet 1. Not every song has parts, but if it does. And then you click open again. And it loads it up. Okay, so once you open a piece on SmartMusic, this is what you'll see. This is what it'll look like. So Chorale and Shaker Dance 2, you'd see the first clarinet part, but it's, like I said, that's a pretty hefty piece, and I didn't really want to have to do this example with that. This song is 2 pages. It will only show you one at a time, but you click these arrows to take you to the next page. However, if you press play and you go through the song, it'll automatically turn the page for you. So this is just if you want to look through it on your own, I guess. So lots of stuff going on. Bear with me. We're going to talk through all of it and what you guys can do with this. And then it'll be over before you know it. So first and foremost, up at the top here, we've got these 5 different words you can pick from. It starts you on tracks, which is what we're looking at right now. So looking under this menu, because it changes this section of it. So first of all, accompaniment is on the far left. This is every instrument that isn't what you chose. So accompaniment is like the rest of the band. My part is the part you chose. So in this case, clarinet 1. Notice how it automatically has accompaniment on and my part off. If you're going to listen to this piece and you want to hear the, in this case, clarinet 1 part over it, you need to make sure you turn that on. Otherwise it'll mute out this part so you can hear everything else happening. And then finally, metronome. It starts you with the metronome. You can turn it off if you maybe just want to listen and you don't want the metronome playing while you listen. Or you can turn it on for when you're listening or practicing, and you can make it softer or louder, however you want. If you want it to subdivide, you can also turn that on. This section over here, if you're going to practice jazz music, because it does have jazz music on SmartMusic, this is how you can determine how much swing you want. For concert music, you're not really going to worry about that too much. So, but that's what that would be if you were interested. Okay, looking down here now, in this gray bar, we have our tempo, which it will set automatically. Notice there's a weird discrepancy here because it says in the music 154, but SmartMusic is setting it at 162. Up to you if you really want to push that or not. You can also type in your own music, if you want to go 120 instead, or maybe I'll put it on 154 because that's what it's supposed to be. You can use these to change it as well, and then this resets it to the original that SmartMusic had. So you calibrate your microphone for when you record. It will make you do this if you decide to record anyways, so I never mess with it. There's a tuner, which it won't really register right now because I'm not playing an instrument, I'm talking, but you can tune if you'd like. And then this just toggles whether or not you can see, the song and the part that you're playing. And then finally, it's telling you here that there's going to be a 4-beat count off, but you can change that if you'd like more or less time before you, come in. So that's the very basic level. So let's say you're going to look at Afterburn and you want to hear how it's supposed to sound before you try playing along with it. You just click play. It'll give you a 4-beat count off at tempo, and then you can listen. So I'm going to do that real quick. I think we actually have this piece. Sounds familiar. Anyway, so yeah, that's how that works. You click play and it, plays the music, and you can follow along with it highlights the measure that they're in, and then the cursor also is in there. So anyways, yeah, and you can just listen to it. If I were to have this clicked off, I would hear everything but the clarinet 1 part. So that's the very basic level. Let's say you are experimenting with your music, you want to just listen to how it's supposed to sound, or maybe you want to play along with it, but you don't want to record yourself yet. You could just click play and play along with it. But let's make things a little more complicated. First of all, notice how I clicked pause. It's still in it resets to the beginning of the measure we were in the middle of when I paused. So if I were to hit play again, it would start me at the beginning of this measure, not the beginning of the piece. You have to click back to the beginning if you want. This is because it's a 2-measure rest is what this is. Also, a couple cool little things. Let's say you don't know what a note is. If you click a specific note, these 2 tiny little buttons down here, the one on the left shows you, if you click it, what note it is and a fingering chart for it. There's 2 options for this C. It also will play the note. If you're not sure if it sounds correct on your end, you can listen to it, and it will play what that note is supposed to sound like. So you can check yourself. That's really helpful, mostly if it's higher weird notes, I guess, or if you're not sure if it's a B flat or B natural or something like that. Anyways, so let's say you want to record yourself because you want to track your progress. The cool thing about SmartMusic is it will try to tell you how accurate you are. Like if you play the notes correctly or incorrectly, it'll tell you that kind of thing. So I'm going to first and foremost warn you now. Oh, this is terrible. I'm going to like sing, I guess. Here, we'll come down here where it's a little bit more in my range. Okay, brace yourselves. Anyways, let's say we're going to record. Pretend I'm playing clarinet. I'm really going to be singing. I'm so sorry. But you would click record. It'll count you off. Oh, boy. And here we go. Test your microphone. See, it makes you calibrate it. There we go. Here we go. Okay, that's enough of that. Well, perfect. This gives me a great example. So after I've finished my recording, I hit stop, and now we're going to scroll back down. So I started at 52. So the notes that are green, I sang correctly, or, supposedly played correctly. Correct duration, correct note. The red notes show you what you did wrong. So I was singing in E natural. I should have been singing in E flat. So it made them red. There's also a red natural sign. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a red natural sign as well. So it tells you what you did wrong. It doesn't just tell you that it was wrong. It tells you what you did that was wrong too. But apparently I fixed it for the second half of this measure. So that's cool. Anyways, if you're like really close, but like they can't quite tell what's wrong, it'll make the note orange. That means it's like, something was weird, but we couldn't pick up what it was. But usually you'll see red or green. So I've recorded that so I could track my progress. Let's say you want to play it back. You hit this. I'm not playing the whole thing, but if you wanted to play back your recording with the accompaniment. All right, so that's how you can listen to your recording. And now let's look at some of these other things now that we have a recording. So first of all, notice how it's now upgraded from tracks to my takes. Every time you re-record, it saves that take. So this is, number 1, because I've only done one recording. I got 3% correct at 154 beats per minute. If I record again, which let's do that now. Hold on. Beginning. Okay. I did not mean to sing that whole an octave lower at the beginning. I thought the whole thing would be wrong. Anyways, look, now, first of all, up here it's updated to take number 2, 1% correct. But if I click down, you can check against itself. So I did better my first time. If I wanted to restore that, I can click that and it changes it to what I got that first time through. It'll do that like with every take. I'm not going to do any more takes of me singing, but you can do as many takes as you want and look at the differences between them. So if you don't like a take, so I don't like take number 2 because it was bad. I would delete it. You do want to delete it and you're done. If you like take number 1, saving it saves it to your computer. It downloads it. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to download my recording of me singing. But this doesn't save it to SmartMusic. It saves it to your computer. So don't do that unless you want to download an audio file of your playing, okay? So let's take a look at a couple of these other tabs up here. Assessment. So I already mentioned if you wanted to do the rhythm or if you're percussion, you would want to click percussion or clap mode. I think I mentioned that. If I didn't, if you're a percussionist and you're doing a battery instrument or you're clapping along with rhythms, make sure you turn this on. Otherwise, it's going to be like crazy. The tolerance is how easy they grade you. Mine is average, but like if I'd put it on easy, I probably would have gotten a higher percentage correct because this was only a half step off. So you can change how hard they grade you. But then also show assessment, just make sure you know it. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but yeah, percussion or clapping rhythms, make sure you turn this on before you record. Otherwise, it won't fully track you. Okay, loop, if you want to loop a certain measure, let's say I really want to practice this measure. I can click the measure I want and hit set, and it will highlight that measure and loop it over and over. So if I hit play, it'll just loop this measure. Right now, it will count off between each loop. If you don't want it to do that, you just unclick it. And then if you want to stop looping, you just hit clear. And then finally, display is more for your own benefit than anything related to it. If you're colorblind, because it uses green and red, if you're colorblind, you can turn on colorblind mode. Highlight measure toggles whether or not it will highlight the measure that you're in. You can zoom in or out or make it full screen. Beat cursor. So if you click this, there's a bunch of options for the cursor. By cursor, it means this blue bar. I personally prefer flow cursor. I think it makes you track the music more accurately to what you would be doing, like reading regular sheet music. But basically, I don't know if you noticed, like, oh, there's a perfect measure to show you. Beat cursor will move the cursor as each beat happens. So it's moving it as the beats happen. Flow cursor has a consistent flow throughout the measure. It will hit the notes, like it will hit the beats correctly. It just doesn't stop at the beats, which I prefer. I like that one better. Note cursor will change when the notes change. We'll do this measure for an example for note cursor. So it won't count through rhythms. It'll just change with the notes. Or you can turn off the cursor completely. I prefer flow cursor, quite frankly. I think it makes it easier to track the music like authentically. So that's pretty much it with this one. That's how you can, first of all, just listen to music and play along with it just for fun. Again, if you want to record yourself and then listen back to it, you can, and SmartMusic will grade you. You know, it'll tell you how well you did and what you missed and how you can improve it, and it will give you grades, and you can save your takes. So I think that's really awesome because, you know, it can help you guys practice and get some immediate feedback. Like instead of in band class when I say like someone's playing a wrong note, this basically does that for me. You'll be able to see if you played a wrong note. You know, and keep in mind, sometimes if you're really out of tune, it won't know if you're playing the right note. So that's why you might want to use this tuner before we start. Okay, so that's pretty much how you can use this, period. Like, again, I just clicked a piece in their free music. So if you go again to find music, I went to their band and orchestra page and just chose a piece. I chose Afterburn. I just chose it randomly and went, and you can record it and practice it, whatever you want. Like I said, Chorale and Shaker Dance 2 is on there. I'm not sure if there's anything else that we have that's on there. I haven't really looked. Nope, Moana's not on there. Sorry, guys. Let's say you want to do a pop song. So you can come over here to genres and click rock and pop, and it will pull up like that specific genre. So if you want one, oh man, now I don't know what one I want to pick. But if you want to pick a pop song, here, you guys might know this one. Same process, click movements, click the song, click open, make sure you know what you're doing, click the part you want, and it loads it. They've got a lot of stuff. This is that song. I mean, I think it's the song I'm thinking of. It's a pop song. Yep. So like if you wanted to play along with some pop music that you might know, you can play from that. Okay, make sure, again, I did it right before I hit play. Make sure you turn on your part if you want to hear this part. But yeah, so Just Give Me a Reason is on here. Like there's just tons of music on here that you guys can search through. Find stuff that we're already working on. Find stuff you would want to work on. If there's music on here, like a concert band piece that you really enjoy, and you think sounds really cool, like let me know. You know, you can send me a message saying like, hey, I played through this on SmartMusic and I am obsessed and we should do it ourselves. Like I'm down, I'm down to at least check it out. So like, let me know, you know what I mean? And like I said, there's tons of stuff, jazz band, lots of free stuff. I don't know if, Megalovania, nope, Megalovania's not on here. Birdland, I bet is. Okay, well, I was wrong. Anyways, you can look through it yourself. Lots of stuff. So yeah, basically to sum things up, this section will not really be used for anything. I might post open-ended assignments on here if there's something I'd like to hear you guys play, but it will be very low pressure. Again, I don't want this to be something that creates a lot of extra work and stress on you guys. Specifically, I want you guys to be able to use this to just find some fun stuff to do if you get bored or are tired of listening to yourself play alone. You can play with some background music. So that is how you use SmartMusic. For non-method book reasons. So middle school and high school, non-method book performing and practicing. Yeah, thank you guys for watching.